Welcome back to Hannity. So just in 1 week from today, 7 days, President-elect Trump will be sworn in to be the 45th president of the United States. And for the first time in 10 years, Republicans will control the House, the Senate, and the White House. Joining us now, counselor to the president-elect, Kellyanne Conway, is with us. You know, when I go out and meet people, the person they ask about besides President-elect Trump the most is you. Everyone wants to know, what's Kellyanne like? And I'm like, is she as nice as she seems? I said, nicer. So,
thank you.
People are really happy.
Tell them I love them back. And this is a victory and a future shared by all. And we're just getting started.
The only thing to me that matters is that the agenda gets fulfilled. Walk us through these 100 days, what we call the first 100 days of the president-elect, and tell us what we can expect.
Yes. Sean, that is exactly why Donald Trump ran for president. I would submit to you it's why he won the presidency, because people know that he will make good on these promises, his plans. Because if he doesn't, it's just another typical politician promising to do things they don't intend. So he has these very specific plans on repealing and replacing Obamacare. A poll out just today shows that 65% of Americans want the ACA, Obamacare, repealed in part or in whole. It's a very high number. Folks feel really frustrated. We know their premiums are rising, their quality and choices are fewer, their access is less, and their frustrations are high. So making good on that repealing and replacing Obamacare is important. The president-elect and the vice president-elect had meetings on that this week. The legislative team had meetings on that this very week. This week, the Senate already took action toward repealing Obamacare. The president-elect is committed in so doing that those who have coverage will not be without coverage, that will get rid of that draconian penalty, basically that you're forced to buy government-run health care or pay a tax, pay a penalty. There will be health savings accounts for people, and there will be the ability to buy health insurance across state lines, a more patient-centric free market system. Also, he'll start building that wall with the intention of Mexico paying for it either now or later on as compensation. If the Congress can speed up the process by paying for it, terrific. You'll also see energy, unleashing energy. They'll start to do infrastructure. And he, of course, will get more serious about defeating radical Islamic terrorism and get very serious about rebuilding our military.
So vetting refugees, originalist justices, 7 brackets to 3, 15% corporate tax, repatriating multinational corporations, Obamacare gone, replaced with what you said, energy independence, that's going to be done.
Energy independence, which is also part of his. Oh, yes. Education's huge. He's got Betsy DeVos as his education secretary nominee. Sean, she looks at alternatives to conventional schooling systems, where charters and school choice, and certainly respecting homeschoolers. At the same time, respecting our back to basics curriculum and letting parents and local governments have more of a say of where children go to school and what is taught there. You mentioned something very important. You talked about the extreme vetting and you talked about energy investment. These are also very specific solution-centric plans that President-elect Trump ran on. I think that the fact that he got specific was very important to voters, because that's what businessmen do. They're accountable for results and deliverables. They can't fudge the numbers. They can't just have a commission and kick the can down the road. They actually have to produce in a quarterly, monthly, weekly way. If you can tell me right now, I'll start the Jeopardy clock, what Hillary Clinton's message was in this election, other than Donald Trump bad and I'm not Donald Trump. His message was specific.
I can't tell you.
His message was specific.
Let me ask this last question. What you're saying is he's going to keep all these promises, which I think is the key to political success, but I also think it's the change that the country needs. This is not a simple agenda. I do believe there'll be resistance along the way, especially with the Supreme Court and building the wall and vetting refugees and some of these other issues. What will he be able to do in the first hours as president to undo a lot of the damage Obama's done with executive orders?
So on Monday, January 3rd, President Donald J. Trump can sit down and basically rescind these executive orders, those that Obama put in very late in the game with respect to the environment, mining. There are other regulations that we hear from business owners and employers constantly, Sean, that it's really the regulatory system that has a chokehold on them, that they can't retain talent and they can't hire American workers, they can't keep their factories here, they can't expand here. And you see the Trump effect already now during the transition. And the Trump effect happened again today here in Trump Tower, where the CEO of Lockheed Martin came, and then she went and announced that they will in fact reduce the price of the F-35s. The Trump effect has been to keep jobs here, factories staying here, and that when he sits down, he can actually rescind a number of these executive orders that have really hurt people. Remember, Barack Obama as president has been very fond of the executive order, and it's just the stroke of a pen, really, that allows President Trump to go more in line with what Americans expect. Energy is a key one. We hear from people, we've heard from these candidates right, left, and center. I'm for all of the above energy. What the heck does that mean? Great soundbite. But people say all the time, nothing is made in America anymore. And I will tell you that we have energy beneath our feet and off our shores. And Americans want us to develop that to reduce our dependence on foreign oil and also to stimulate our local economies, create jobs here at home. He's for coal, clean coal. He's for shale. He's for safe and effective hydraulic fracturing. It's just a very exciting time for us to rely more on Americans and American energy for our economic stimulation and growth.
Kellyanne, it's a bold agenda. If he follows up on all of these items that he talked about in the campaign and you're talking about now that he's been elected, that to me will shift the trajectory of the country. I'm going to love watching it. It'll be a fight. I'll be here fighting on TV and hopefully see you often, and I'll see you down in Washington next week. You will see me often. And, Sean, it really is up to the Republican Congress as well. That's true. They're there. There's no more excuse of divided government. Correct. And they can do this. We've got the Republican governors, state legislatures. This is really the time to harness that and act by the way,
more
we don't
like
need their $10 trillion debt limit increase either. Thanks a lot. They can keep that. No. All right, Kellyanne, good to see you, and we'll see you at the inauguration 1 week from today. Up next, why are Democrats trying to undermine the president-elect before he even takes office? I'll ask Democratic Senator Joe Manchin. Republicans are already making moves now today and yesterday to repeal Obamacare. Later, I'll speak with